Today's episode is brought to you by Kratzmann Caravans and RV Super Centre on the Bruce Highway out there at Burpengary. If you need a caravan or an RV, you just say, you listen to Inside Ball, you go out there, you head out to Burpengary, head north, and Kev, what do? You go, I want a caravan. It's that easy. I don't want to muck around. They're the best in the business. Now, before June 30, they had all these deals. We all know how it works. Just go out there and say, listen, give us the June 30 deal. I'm sure you'll be able to negotiate. They're the best in the business. They want to sell caravans and RVs. Brand new, used. They've got them all there. Kratzmann Caravan, they are the best in the business. And tell them Kevie sent you and Dobbo sent you. You'll get an even bigger discount, especially if you say me, because they love me out there. Go Kratzmann's Caravans. We love the fact that you're part of Inside Ball and that we're a big supporter of Kratzmann Caravan. I think we're doing a show from a caravan shortly.
We are, mate.
We can't wait.
Caravan,
yeah, we're going up to Noosa. We're going up to Noosa to look for crocodiles. Kratzmann, we're towing our Kratzmann Caravan all the way up there. We can't wait. Big part. Their RV centre out there at Burpengary. Get out there today.
Righto, here we go. We've got another special guest lined up on the Inside Ball, of course. This fella, I know this fella pretty well. He's just, you get a bit humbled when you look back and your brother has a career like he has. We've already had Kerrod on the show, but we welcome the great Steve Walters, the Hall of Famer, mate, named in the Australia's greatest 100 players.
It is, Kev. Yeah, very nice to be here. Where do I look? Do I look this way or over here?
No, wherever you like, mate. Wherever you like, mate. You look at me. Let's just go through your little honour roll here first, Stevie. Three-time premiership winner with the Raiders. Yeah, I know that. 89, 90, 94.
Yeah, you've heard that enough times, yeah.
I've got that drum. He played in two other grand finals, didn't you, for the Raiders?
Yeah, 87 we didn't get there, lost to Manly. Yep. And 91, of course, when Royce scored his two tries.
Right, for Penrith, right. Then you left the Raiders, 228 games for the Raiders, all right, from what went down 86 to 96, basically, wasn't it?
11 seasons, yeah.
11 years, yeah. And then 37 games for the Cowboys. Alfie said you're in career best form at the Cowboys. Was that true?
Well, Alpha Ledger said I retired before I went to the Cowboys, but wasn't career best form. It was a bit hot up there for me, Kev, but I enjoyed living in Townsville. Some nice people up there. Yeah,
there's a story in that, and we'll get to that later, why you actually ended up in Townsville. And then 7 games for the Knights. They were a good club then. That was 99. That was your last year.
Yeah, it was. I was really enjoying that. Warren was the coach, and I really enjoyed it.
The Johns boys would have been on fire then, were they?
They were, yeah. They were in their prime and going good. So I just hurt my knee. Really quite enjoyed it, but anyway, that's the way it goes, mate.
Yeah, okay.
Couldn't get it fixed.
14 games for Queensland, the state of origin. 3 for the Super League. And then 16 tests for Australia. You really put your mark on the test scene too, didn't you? You sort of fighting it out with you and Benny and Kerrod, but we'll get to that a bit later as well. And probably the biggest one that I can see here, into the NRL Hall of Fame in 2024. Wow.
Well, it's great to be in there, for sure, mate. Yeah, no doubt about that now. Didn't realise at the time, but I must admit, so yeah, happy to be there.
Yeah, what a career, Stevie. Mal Meninga once praised you and said, you're the best hooker of all time. Your defence was close to immaculate. That's not a Walters trait, the defence stuff. Where'd you learn that from?
He's just been a good captain. See, he was captain of Queensland, Canberra and Australia for me, the big fella, big Mal.
Right.
That might have been before Cameron Smith played too, I'm thinking. So,
yeah, right. Too humble, Stevie. And then Bob Fulton, the great Bob Fulton, the best hooker to have played the game. There you go, Box. How good's that, mate?
Yeah, well, they're two immortal, so that, I enjoyed that. Bozo was always good to me. Enjoyed Bozo's company.
Righto. Now, I know a fair bit about your childhood. You grew up in Ippy, born in Rockhampton, but grew up in Ipswich. How was your upbringing with your siblings and mum and dad? And trust me, you're going to say it was all right.
Yeah. It feels funny when you were asking me that question, when you're obviously there. But anyway, it was, we had a great time growing up, didn't we? All born in Rockhampton, of course, and then switched to Ipswich. I think we went there when I was about 5 or 6, grade 1. Probably and 5 boys, as you know. But just lots of good memories. It was a great place to grow up in the Switch, and probably the thing that's most dominant in my mind is that I was a very average player as a junior.
Well,
you could well vouch for.
We were going to get to that a little bit later. I was going to highlight that.
I'm sure we're going to bring it up.
You tell a great story about how we used to pick the teams in the backyard. Tell us about that story.
Well, it was 5, of course, so it was always 3 against 2. And as a general rule, I put it down to coincidence, but I was on the team with 3. It was
You were normally the last one picked.
Yeah, they'd pick the other 2 out, and last one picked. I thought it was, I put myself down as an impact player, but I'm not sure if that was the case.
Well, you were a bit before your time with the impact stuff because it's a big part of the game now. But I can vouch all those inside ball listeners that Stephen and this is a good lesson for all the kids out there. Like when you're a 14, 15, I think you started to get a bit better at 16 years of age, but from under 7s to under 14s, honestly, you're
steady at best, Kev. Just turned up a trainer to make up the numbers. I was even at home playing in the backyard with the lights, remember?
Yeah.
I was scared of the dark, so I had to swap. At half time, I'd switch to the other wing on the other side. So.
Well, you had your wing, that's right.
That's right, yes.
Well, who were your childhood heroes?
Never got a great deal of ball out there either when I think about it.
Well, you weren't calling for it either. You were sort of hiding in the dark.
Well, I always tell people that I played from under 6s all the way through, as you know, to under 18s. And in those first years, I made the Ipswich team twice, 2 years out of all that time. And our dad, Kev Walters, happened to be manager of the team those 2 years. So
that's just a coincidence, surely.
Well, I put it down to a burst of good form. But looking back, I don't know.
Oh, I think you do know,
Maybe
mate.
you could see something, Dad. He might have been on the money, Kev. KG.
Now, who was your footy heroes growing up,
Oh, as you know, Rocket Reddy was my favourite player. He was always the one. And always admired all the Queensland fellas. Remember, we used to sit round the table picking our Origin sides and Queensland teams before Origin, I should say. Always good to include all those boys, watching them in the 70s and early 80s. So, But Rocket would be the top dog for sure.
Do you remember when we went to Lane Park then for the first ever State of Origin? I've told my experiences of that. What's yours of that?
Yeah, same sort of thing. Just I've heard you go through that a few times with the fence and stuff. So just looking back, you didn't realise what such a big deal it was going to be at the time. I mean, we were excited to go down there because Brett was playing, wasn't he?
Yeah, in the
under 18s. But I think as much as that, everything else, and I think you're excited to see Rocket Reddy was playing from my point of view, and Arthur Beeston, of course, and a few of the Sydney guys. So you're looking forward to that, but certainly had no idea that was going to be the impact it was going to have on the game.
Yeah. Did you walk away from there like thinking that you'd be able to play State of Origin one day, or just thought?
Well, you watch me play, Kev.
I was hoping you'd say that because they are big dreams. They would have been huge dreams.
Yeah, probably not at that stage. I mean, you'd love to play there one day, but I didn't think I was a logical choice. No.
Right. Now, I just remember as a you're my big brother, obviously growing up. Yeah, you're a good cricketer too. You went to school with Craig McDermott. Right? Did you get more wickets? Well, this is a story you tell. You tell the story,
Oh, I was handy as a cricketer.
At Ipswich Grammar, of course.
I was pretty good, yeah. Loved my time at Ipswich Grammar. I went to Bremer till year 10 and enjoyed that too. And then you and I and Kerrod went to Grammar for the sports scholarship in 11 and 12. Yeah, I was first 11, first 4 and first 15, so I was okay.
The tennis too, that's right. You're a good tennis player.
Starting to pick up a bit at that stage, so really enjoyed it. That was my cricket claim to fame. I shared the bowling trophy with Craig McDermott.
For most wickets, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he played about 3 less games than me, I think.
Right, but didn't he played for...
He played for Queensland the next year in the Shield,
And then did he play for Australia probably the year after or something like that?
Yeah, he was a very talented young fella.
Yeah, right. But you were pretty talented at the other sports too. They said cricket, baseball, you were good at, but you're also quite intelligent for a Walters. Like you could have went to university, and that's what Mum and Dad were hoping. That you were going to... Didn't you have plans to go to uni or not?
I actually did. What I had was a funny story because I don't know if you remember... I wanted to go to uni, but I didn't want to be a bum and have no money and drive around the Volkswagen. So I looked at the thing and I got a scholarship to go down to Duntroon.
That's
to
right,
the military
to join the military.
To study electrical engineering. And I thought, problem solved, I'll get my degree and I'll get some money at the same time. It was in Canberra too, what a coincidence. So anyway, they flew us down there. It was the first time I'd ever been on a plane. It's nearly 17, I think it was. And when we got down to Duntroon to the military college, I hadn't thought it through because I was up every day marching and polishing boots and ironing shirts, left, right, left. And I'm going home on the plane on the Sunday. I think, I've got to knock this on the head. You haven't thought this through, Stevie. So I pulled out of it there and ended up doing an apprenticeship as an electrician and kind of got into the footy a bit more then and didn't get back to the uni side of it. So.
Right. It's just one of my childhood memories come flashing back. Remember we used to have chooks in the backyard? And we used to take turns in collecting the eggs, and we had a rooster down the back, didn't we?
Well, he was fiery
he
too.
was pretty
yeah,
aggressive.
Not to be messed with.
You used to put the helmet on, the bat, the pads.
We had
in
all
protection.
boots. Yeah.
Because
Cover up.
he was a rough old fella, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Jeez.
he was fearless, protecting his flock.
Yeah.
Looking back. I used to try to send Kevin and Kerrod in first to distract him a bit.
Then you could get the eggs. Yeah. Anyway, just
In you go, Kev. Go on. You'll be right, mate.
What about the rooster? He's not there. He's
in a
over the
good
back
mood
there
today,
somewhere.
Kev.
Righto. So then you left school, and then you end up at the Devils. How did you end up at the Devils?
Well, you've got to persevere in footy, but you need some luck too, Kev. I'm convinced of that. So, our older brother Brett, I was about to say mine. He's related to you too.
Yeah.
Our older brother Brett, Bobby Back's one of the great names in Queensland Rugby League. He rung up home. I still remember it, chasing Brett to go down to the Devils, and I could hear Brett on the phone in the lounge room. He was on the phone there talking, and I was standing beside him because I was 18 at that stage, and I'm sort of saying, "Tell him about your brother Steve. You want to get hold of him too. He's on the way up." And I got a bit better at that stage. I was going okay. Queensland under 18s for 2 years, so I was starting to improve a little bit. And anyway, and he did mention them, and Baxi said, "Well, you can bring him down. We'll give him a trial and see how he goes." And it sort of progressed from there.
Right?
And see, the other thing where I got lucky was Turtle. I don't know if you remember, but Turtle Konescu, one of our great Queensland players, who was Norse his whole life. Yeah, that's right. In a state of origin hooker at the time. He had a bit of a blue with him over something. He went up and played in Gladstone for the year.
For 12 months, yeah.
For 12 months. So all of a sudden they haven't got a hooker,
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Got to play a few games, which was awesome.
Well, you made your debut on the 27th of May, 1984. Do you remember your debut for the Devils?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to remind you. At Bishop Park, you lost 37-4. What were you doing? Not tackling, obviously. But obviously that was the start of your career. You loved it playing at the Devils, didn't you? You still got it?
Yeah, they were good fellas. It was just a big thrill to be there, and Brett was there, as you know, and Gilly, the axe, was just coming in at that time too, and lots
Big
of
Zulu.
Big Zulu was there. I mean, he was a front rower, so no one was beating me up at hooker because he was standing there, and lots of good players, Poey and a heap of them, Bags, you start going through them all, Westy. And Dinger. And
they talk about the scrums in those days, Steve. Were they as tough as what everyone talks about now?
It was a bit more.
Did you ever get belted in the head and headbutted and all that stuff?
Yeah, you just had to put your head down was the best thing, because if they hit you in your face, it hurts a lot more than hitting on top of your head. That's all. It's true,
That's
mate.
good advice.
It wasn't Pythagoras' theorem or anything. You just got to put the head down, and that's your hardest bit, and do your best. But it was a bit more competitive, And no doubt about that.
So, who in those days there were hooking duels too, weren't they? Like you had to win the scrums.
There was a bit of pride in the scrums, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
So, do you remember some of the battles you had with some of the other blokes, like at Norse in those days? Because we had a great hooking group of hookers. You're a younger one, but there was other ones there, wasn't there? Can we remember? We could just pause for a minute. Do you remember any of them you hooked against?
Oh, Trevor Bailey was the brothers. I remember.
Yeah, Trevor Bailey and the bloke at South, Eddie Muller was there.
Muller was the leading player. David Green had come through with the
Seagulls.
Seagulls.
So all those guys were capable of playing.
Max Saar
for
was
Queensland.
really good for Tigers before that when they won the final. You had Turtle. You had Johnny Lang had just retired.
Yeah.
Johnny Dowling a little bit before that too. Yeah, there was a few handy ones around.
So you really did have to have your scrimmaging skills, like for hooking for the ball and that.
Yeah, it certainly changed. That was about 80. Well, that was not about. That was 84. And it was still reasonably competitive, I'd say, till 88, 89 when it started to change a little
Loosen up a bit, yeah.
That's when they started putting halfbacks in and 5'8" and that sort of stuff.
Righto. Now, you ended up at the Raiders, right? How did you end up at the Raiders? Did you have multiple clubs chasing or...?
Oh, I wouldn't say multiple clubs. It was a bit different because you didn't have agents and that in those days, but Barry Muir coached me the first year at Norse, and the second year in 85, John Barber was the coach, and he was really good to me, JB. Not that Barry Muir wasn't, but JB in particular, he was like a bit of a mentor for me. And
saw some potential that you could take it to the next
level.
level?
I wanted to go and play in Sydney, which was kind of evolving a bit in that stage. Most of the young fellas wanted to get down there if you wanted to sort of show your worth. And I had a little bit of interest from Illawarra. And the Bears, I think, was the other one. But the main one was the Raiders. They offered us a contract.
Do you remember how much your contract was for?
I do. It was for 10,000 sign-on. And I was working as an apprentice electrician at the time, earned about 4,000 a week. And I just thought, I'm in the money. Yeah, baby. We end up making 27,000 because you had a lot of incentives and stuff.
Yeah, well,
then.
You went down and you pretty much cracked it straight away, didn't you? A couple of games in reserve, right?
Oh, no. I had 86, so I only had 3 games. Because the other thing which JB mentioned to me was Badge and Mal.
Gary
They've signed a couple
Belcher.
of players. And the
Because there
Raiders
was
have
a
been going all
three
the-
import rule, wasn't there, back then? 3 Queenslanders per club each
Was
year.
it?
Yeah.
Well, and that's where I was lucky too. See, the Raiders tried to, because South had the big win against
But,
Wynnum
yeah.
in '85 in the grand final, and the 3 best South players are Eddie Muller, Gary Belcher, and Mal Meninga. So the Raiders tried to sign the 3 of them, and they got Badge and Mal and Eddie Muller. I think he got a better deal at the Bulldogs.
Right.
So thanks, Eddie. Every year he gets a carton of Forex off me for Christmas.
Open
and
the
that's
door
how I
up
got
for
my
you.
chance. Yeah, he went there, and when they missed out on him, they said there's another young fella at Norths, and it sort of went from there.
Yeah, okay. Brilliant.
I was over at you had fax machines in those days, and I was over at JB's office. I can't remember what he was doing, but he had an office over there somewhere, and I signed my contract on the fax, and it went back down to
To the Raiders,
to
to
the
Johnny.
Raiders. It was over the north side, and I rung up Mum, rung up Sandy, and said, I'm just leaving North Brisbane. I said, because there used to be a seafood truck, remember at Edwardvale?
Yeah, Edwardvale.
Edwardvale on the way home, we had sold prawns and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, don't worry about dinner. I said, I'll be getting a few prawns from that seafood truck. And she says, oh, you don't need to get that. They're too expensive. And I said, I'm in the money. I'll explain later.
And you were in the money, mate. It was a jackpot for you, really, the Raiders.
exciting,
What a bloody good career you had down there. Shit. Did you ever envisage
Well, you'd
that
hope to
happening?
do well. You'd never think you were going to be in the finals 9 times and 5 grand finals and 3 wins. So, no.
Yeah. So walking into the Raiders training for the first day, do you remember those times? Like, were you nervous? Were you excited?
I'm nervous because obviously the big exciting thing was you knew Mal was going to
Yeah.
be there. You
And,
know?
and your coach was the current Australian coach, Don Ferner.
Yeah, Donnie was there then. That's right. So, just exciting. And what was a big help was Gary Coyne, one of our old Ipswich Swifties.
the burger.
The burger was down there.
Geez, he's doing it tough now, Gary, isn't he?
Yeah, short of $1.
Oh,
Sort of.
Gary's got about 10 McDonald's across Brisbane and southeast Queensland. So
Yeah, him and his wife Gail are really good to me.
Oh,
They
great
looked after
people,
us
yeah.
down there. That made it a bit easier. But yeah, just trying to settle in. It's a big move when you're a young bloke.
yeah, well, there was lots of Queenslanders there, wasn't there? Like Big Sam was there, Sammy
Sammy
Bacco.
Bacco was there, yeah.
Jay Hoffman was there.
Jacko
Steve
come the next
Jackson,
year.
Peter Jackson came with
Yeah.
me the following year.
Yeah.
So it was really like a Queensland-based Sydney club or Canberra club, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Like- But also a big influence from the Chris O'Sullivan and some of the locals.
Plenty of locals too, yeah.
Yeah. Right, so you head to the Raiders, and this is now you still got your electrical apprenticeship going, and you're training in the afternoons. But this mad trainer of yours, what's his name? Brian Burke.
Oh, Berkey. Yeah,
You
back in the
trained
day.
every day in January, was it?
When we got there, yeah. They,
Or was it December?
different times then, Kev. I think it was January. It was
He made you do something every day.
Yeah, we had training 31 days in a row. Yeah.
Oh my
Every single
God.
day. Most of them were pretty a fair dust up too.
How'd you
Went-
tolerate that and then working as well? Like,
There was no ping pong and having a stretch or anything. No.
and
But
you're
they
a
just
single
thought-
you're a single fella too, so you got meals and that
Well, it
sort of thing.
interfered with my social life. There's no doubt about that, Kev.
Yeah.
But it
Holy
was
Jesus.
You just sort of, because I was a young fella, you just shut up and did what you could.
Yeah.
A few of the more senior blokes are thinking this isn't the right way to go about it. But see, we'd had a disappointing season in '86. You know, I think I don't know how many games we won, but we didn't do as well as what they were hoping. You know, with the new players in and that. So I think the first mentality was to rip in and
Just harden them up.
just got to harden them up and train harder. Whatever we did
resilience.
last year, we'll do twice as much. So.
Right. Unbelievable.
But it was
Anyway.
a different time. You couldn't imagine it now, could you?
Nah, you survived, mate. Great stuff. Righto. First grand final '87.
Yeah,
What do you remember much about that, or SCG?
Not too much, other than obviously it was exciting at the time, and Wayne was coach. That's how far back Wayne goes. Wayne was our coach with Donnie.
Yeah.
They co-coached, you know. Remember thinking it was hard to believe when you were there, and the only thing, you know what stands out to me, it was really hot.
The grand final, yeah.
it was hot because we did our warm-up, and I remember Big Sam Bacco, who was one of our key players. Man, that sweat was pouring off him when we come in.
Well, he used to sweat regardless.
A bit of a sweater, but when we went back on the sheds and I seen him, it was dripping off on him. I was thinking, oh, we're in trouble here.
Yeah.
So, but they were too good for us that day. We didn't really get in it, did we? You know.
No. And then missed out the next year, '88. Played semi-finals for the Raiders, but no grand final. And '89. What a grand final that was, Steve.
Yeah.
What's your memories of that one, mate?
Oh, like yourself, mate. When we look back, I remember being dirty at half time because we've been the better team, but I think we're losing by 10 or 12 points. They got those couple of tries against the run of play.
Yeah.
One from Big Bouncing Ball and one from
Yeah.
Pearl Toddy with that intercept.
The intercept.
You know, you thought, we had the better of play, and Sheensy was just sort of saying, no, we're going good. Just keep doing what you're doing, and things will turn. Blah, and all that sort of stuff. So, I must admit, I didn't believe him. I was sitting there shitty sulking, but luckily we had good leaders there, Mal and Badge
Gary
and Dean
Belcher.
Lance.
Dean Lance was a captain, wasn't he, Dean? Or Mal was a captain. Was Mal or Dean? Was it? Doesn't matter. They were both good leaders,
No, Mal was the captain by then, I think. Dino was for a while.
Yeah.
Before that, and I think they led the way, and you just sort of followed then. And what at the time. They weren't sort of known as how good they're going to be. Of course, they're just young fellas on the way up. Then Ricky and Laurie and Brad
Clyde,
those sort of fellas. Mate.
Geez, those three didn't they? Just and yourself, that whole Raiders team dominated for 3 or 4 years, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, after then, by the time early '90s, we're going good. Then we had a few.
Do you remember with Bob? Do you remember Bobby Hawke coming into that? Was that was '87, wasn't he? When Hawkey came in,
he came in a couple of times. Yeah, I always remember him as a good fella. He was really down to earth and easy to chat with, and liked his footy too.
Yeah,
he was going there, and we were. You were there. Remember we went to the lodge that day.
Yeah, we went to the lodge. Yeah, was that? Yeah. Was that 87 or 89? Can you remember?
I remember you were there, so I don't know which one it was.
Yeah. We met Hazel too, didn't we?
We did, because Hazel greeted us at the door, and I walked in with you and Clydie, and we went inside, and they were serving some nice sandwiches and sort of entree snack things, and Kev said to her, he said, Jesus, Hazel, he said, you must have been in the kitchen all afternoon getting all this ready.
Yeah, she said, I've been busy.
Away, didn't she?
She said she's been busy, yeah.
She was laughing away. Remember on the way out too?
Yeah.
She come and we were walking out, and she come and tapped Kevie on the shoulder, and said, where are you going? You can come and give me a hand with the dishes now. Nice lady.
Yeah,
very
lovely.
Nice lady.
Beautiful people, the Hawks. Very fortunate to meet them. But that 89 grand finals, a couple of things that stick out to me, and you're probably the same. The ankle tap, Mal.
McNeil.
McNeil. Benny Elias, your mate. We'll get to Benny in a minute, right? Your mate hit the crossbar.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it, would you?
Unlucky, eh?
Yeah, poor old Benny.
And then the other one was Steve Jackson and Chicka's try. There's lots of memories there, isn't there? It was a great game. Did you? When did you really sort of know that you'd sort of won? Do you think in your mind?
When Jacko scored, but that kept when we were safe, Not till then, I didn't,
Yeah, Sully kicked the field.
It is a long time ago now, to be fair, too.
Yeah, and Sully kicked the field goal, didn't he? Yeah.
He did. He's
Angel,
dirty.
he kept calling it.
He's dirty at Jacko scoring, didn't he? Yeah. Because I remember they tried to talk him out of it. Not a hope, though. He was going. So.
Yeah, he was going to do it.
He did well, too.
And what about the celebrations after? Did Laurie break the trophy or something, didn't he? Did that happen on...
Yeah.
Or he dropped it somewhere and...
Yeah, we had a parade, and poor old Arthur Summons got a bit of gravel rash on his arm. Fell off the back there.
Oh, Laurie, and then vintage cars or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we were both so young, it's hard to sort of remember too much. But yeah, it was a great win by the Raiders. So you played in, what did you play in, 4 grand finals in 5 years, did you?
87, 89, 90, 91. Yeah, actually, yeah.
87, 89,
88, yeah.
90, 91. 4 grand finals in 5 years, so great times. 91, you missed out though. 90, let's get to 90 first. 1990, another win against the Panthers this time.
Yeah, not as exciting as the year before, because different when you've won one, as you would have known the Broncos. A bit of a relief, really, because you were sort of expected to win by the time you play that one. So, but it was still fantastic to win, and the team's evolving a little bit, a few changes here and there. So,
and 91, back to the grand final again. Jeez.
Yeah, well, Penrith got us this time. We beat them in 90, but they had their day in 91. Probably two of our, Laurie and Ricky, were both. I remember Ricky was getting those injections in his groin before every game at the end there, and Laurie had some. He wasn't running properly with his hamstring. I mean, you always say but I think if both our guns were fit, we might have got them. But anyway, well done to Penrith. They were too good. Yeah,
too good on the day, weren't they? But anyway, then of course the mighty Broncos 92, 93. I think from memory, you faced some injuries, didn't you, that year? 92 and
well. We got busted for being allegedly over the salary cap, so we had to shed a couple of players.
Right. Now tell us about that then. What's your experience?
Well, allegedly. Kev.
Allegedly. I'm only saying it allegedly. So how did you find out about that? Did you?
Oh, it was just in the news. I mean, it was different in those days. I think the salary cap was 1.1 or 1.2 million, and we were $100,000 over or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like what it is. Yeah.
Well, I remember Mal broke the $100,000 mark.
It was big news, wasn't it, at the time?
Yeah, he signed a 3-year deal for $100,000 a year, and the rugby league world fell over, thinking, wow.
It was big bucks, yeah.
Huge money. That might have been 88 or 89, I'm not sure when it was.
That, yeah.
And now the minimum wage is, it's about 120, isn't it, or something?
Something like that, yeah. So we had to... because we had a lot of depth in 90. I think we're in every grand final. Do you remember? 1990 in the 3 grand finals.
Yeah, you played against the Broncos in the reserve grade, and the Broncos won.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
good depth, hey?
Good depth. We lost a lot of that, and they had to, we lost some of the players. The main Big Lazo moved on. Of course, that was to your good fortune, the Broncos boys.
Well, that was because of the salary cap, wasn't it? You had to lose players.
Yeah.
He didn't want to leave, but someone had to leave to to ease the pressure on the cap.
And he was coming through. He was becoming really established as the leading front row in the game then. So I wanted to be paid a bit better, which is fair enough for the big unit.
Yeah.
And Toddy was the other one. Brent Todd left, and then there was a few more fringe sort of guys like David Barnhill went, and Nigel Gaffey and a few guys. Yeah. We lost a lot of players.
Right, I on to 94. You're back on the big stage, eh?
Yeah, big rap to Sheensy there, because I think that gets overlooked a bit, because we lost all those players, and they still kept the core of good players.
So you still had you, Ricky, Laurie, Mal. Was Bad? What did Badger
hurt his knee.
That was Mullows, was
Mullins was just starting to come in then.
Right.
Well, not in 94, he was firing.
I remember Noah Nendruku and Kenny Nagus, were they in?
Well, Sheensy went over to New Zealand, he got some Kiwis and Fijians. He come back with, Sean Hoppy was there just before that. And then you had the two front row, Johnny Lomax, Quentin Pongia.
Yeah.
You had Ruben Wiki come from New Zealand again. They got him cheap, young fellas that didn't pay much for. And Noah Nadruku, what a champion player.
Famous Fiji. He put the Fijians on the map, didn't he?
Oh, he was. Everyone wanted a Fiji player after that.
Geez, he was hard to tackle. Not that I was very good at tackling, but I was Buckley's at trying to bring him down. Like he's just all muscle and butt.
Well, as well's been fast. Big step. He was strong and aggressive too.
Yeah. He's one of your favourite. Is he Chicker? Chicker had retired by then, hadn't he?
Chicker had retired, mate. But all the Kiwis and Noah and the Fijians, and there was a couple more, that they did really well. It was a different team to the late 80s.
Yeah, I'm going to get to your international career in the next segment, so we'll move on from there. But you made the Kangaroo Tour team that year as well. Tell us about Tim Sheen then. You mentioned him before. Why was he such a good coach, you reckon?
Oh, I think he was good with his relationships with his players, and I think he was certainly always keen to keep getting better, looking to bring us the latest.
Very innovative, I remember, Tim.
Yeah, that's right. Always looking to bring us the latest way of playing and keep trying to continually improve. I would say that is his biggest, from a tactical point of view, always really interested in that side of it.
I remember, I was in Brisbane at the time, but I remember you ringing me up one day, I rang you, and we were talking about training and what happens, and then you said that Tim Sheens had got his trainers to bring on Mars bars halfway through training.
To give him a little hit.
To give you energy.
Little things like that.
But that's like, we look back and laugh now and thinking, oh, come on, what a load of garbage. But really, that's the energy that you need, They do it now with the Powerade drinks and the sugar hits. And
I think we were the first ones to do weights for the full 12 months. Full time too. Yeah. And everyone said, oh, they're all full of roids, they're strong as. But that's because we did a full 12 months continuous. We were the first team, to my knowledge. And you guys weren't too far behind them with Kelvin up there, because he was down with us before that, remember?
Yeah.
That side of it. Because we were near the AIS, we weren't doing as much as what they do now, but we started doing ice baths and all that sort of stuff too at the AIS when I don't think any
just
other
using
teams.
the facilities. So it's
right.
Smart, isn't it? Recovery. Like, how important is recovery in today's game? And that was, 30 years ago. So
because we were isolated, I just assumed the other teams did that too. It was only later I found out they didn't. We had sports psychologists involved then too, helping with that side of it. And then there was one more thing. Oh, the other thing he did was he had someone. He used to have it was a VHS tape in those days. Did you remember that when you were there?
Yeah.
And you'd bring in your VHS tape every Monday.
And he'd put
it took him a day and a half
on it.
And he had someone to manually go through and tape it. And he'd put your plays in it from the game.
Yeah.
So every tackle I made, every run I made, or
isn't it
whatever
amazing?
was relevant to me. And it used to take him a day and a half to do it, but he could see the importance of that. So, every 5 weeks you could put that on and you could watch all your involvements to see if you're getting any better. And the stuff that they do for that now is really expanded on that, but none of the other teams were doing that then. We were.
Righto. 95. Now, I reckon 95, the semi-final, and I said this before on the podcast, at Suncorp Stadium against the Raiders was the hardest game of club football I've ever played. Do you remember the game?
It was at Lang Park, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a tough game, and anyone could have won. It was a big game there. And it knocked us around and knocked you guys around too. You're at the Broncos end, because both of us got beaten by the Bulldogs in the coming weeks after that.
Yeah.
It was.
That team what'd you lose, 3 or 4 games all season, didn't you?
Only lost a couple, 2 might have even been, because Manly did as well. It was a funny season. So for 95 season, we were a long way ahead with Manly, and then there was a gap to the rest of the teams.
Yeah.
Win-loss wise over the season, but neither of them won the grand final. The Bulldogs come through.
Yeah.
It's the old story, mate. We just didn't quite get it right on the day against the Dogs, and then we got rolled.
Yeah. Now, you're known as a bit of a grub through your playing career, particularly by your brother, Kerrod. Can we just clear the air there? What you belted him? Why would you belt him?
It didn't belt anyone. No, there's no damage done from me.
Sandy wasn't too happy with you.
Well, allegedly it was a bit late on his ear, allegedly again, but,
Did you get suspended? No. Kerrod didn't report you, did he?
No. It was a minor incident, really. I don't think it
was around State of Origin time too, wasn't he? No. I'm just taking that a bit far. We'll get to Origin in a minute. But we're still getting through your club career. Right, so 96, the Super League war, and then 97, you venture up to the Cowboys. How did you end up with the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think you know that one, Kev. So I'll tell your viewers that one. So, of course, we were down in Canberra. We'd all signed our Super League deals, and they were trying to even up the competition a little bit, because the Broncos and Raiders and elite teams, they wanted to not encourage them, but they were certainly open to players going to other clubs. And I could see that our probably best years were behind us at Canberra. Everyone was a bit older.
Part of a rebuild sort of thing.
Yeah, they were there. The only thing was, which I do regret now, because Mal coached a few years after that, and he said, you left because I was coaching, which I didn't. It was only that I wanted a bit of a change. And of course, Wayne had punted Kerrod from the Broncos.
He went to the Rams.
He had, and you had the shits about
I
Wayne
did have the
punting
shits about Wayne punting.
And we were chatting on the phone, I don't know if you remember, and we were talking about it. I said, well, we should go and play at the Cowboys for 2 years together, before we retire, and just like we started together in Canberra.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's just what it sounded like. He said, you get your release sorted out, and I'll get mine sorted out, and away we go. So I go and see the Raiders, and they were, first of all, they said, no, we don't want to release you. And then, because they had another couple of good young hookers anyway.
Coming through. Then
they said, look, you've been a good servant and player. If you want to go, you can go. And I got my release sorted, signed me, contract to go up to Townsville. I rung up Kev, and said, how are you getting on, Kev? He says, I'm not going to be able to get there.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, because Wayne had smoothed him over, of course. So
yeah.
I'm not going to be able to get there, but good luck up there.
But it was a great experience for you up there. And Tim Sheen was up there as well.
He was, yeah. It was something different for us,
What about the Super League? Did it change your life that much, like financially?
Not really. The first year, it was a lot better contracts, but it would have been just, if I had it me time again, I probably should have stayed in Canberra. It was a bit hot up there for me in Townsville.
Yeah, you don't like the heat, do you? But
But I enjoyed the people in the North Queensland hospitality, and they're very passionate about their footy up there. We didn't quite crack it, and they didn't for a few years, but they certainly did a few years later. But the first year I remember thinking, it felt weird anyway with only half the teams.
Yeah.
Remember? It was 10 or 10 or whatever. It
didn't sort of work out the way the ARL wanted to work, or the Super League. It's just sort of both competitions. You're always looking across the hallway at what the other competition was doing, and
well, you wondered at the time what had happened, but of course, looking back now, it seems simple. It was just a bit of a fight over the broadcasting rights. That's all, which are worth a fortune. So people with more foresight than you or me could see how much that was going to be worth, didn't they?
Yeah, and Ricky and Clyde left as well, didn't they? They both moved on. Was that a bit later?
In the end, I think about 98 they went up to the Bulldogs. So which was a bit of a shame for those two, I think, too. Yeah,
and Laurie retired in 99. Now, they went to the Knights in 99. How was that experience with the Johns boys? And
really enjoyed that. I knew it was going to be my last year, so I enjoyed it because it's a good spot to live, Newcastle. I really liked living down there, and it's a good footy town. The Knights still are supporting their team, very parochial about their team. And the Wok was the coach too, so he was a
How'd you find Warren Ryan? Was
really
he?
Good. No, very very clever and tactically very smart. And I can see
different to Tim Sheen's.
Yeah, different to Tim Sheen's. Much more on the tactical side of it and drilling things in and practicing things over and over. And he had his way he wanted to get it done, particularly with defensive structures and that sort of stuff. Both great coaches, just different, I would say.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed hearing his insights and that sort of stuff. And because Chiefo, Paul Harrigan, had been my roommate on the Kangaroo Tour, so I knew him quite well, and he was real good with us down there, and some of the other lads. And then you had, as you mentioned, it was good to have, play some games with the Johns boys and the other lads. Danny Badiris was coming in there.
Was Danny Badiris there then?
Yeah, we used to work, until I hurt my knee, we were both the two hookers. So,
right.
And he sort of come through. Maybe I would have had trouble holding him off by the end of the year, I think, but who knows.
Yeah, okay. Righto. Well,
talented young player.
Magnificent club career, Stevie, I've got to say. and KG and Sandy, like our mum and dad, they're obviously no longer with us, but they went to 11 grand finals in 14 years. That's amazing, isn't it? Like,
It's pretty cool, mate. Yeah. And the thing I always tell people, I don't go talking at dinners and that much now. I've kind of had enough of that, run out of jokes. But the proudest thing for me is that the whole history of the NRL, it's been going since 1908, so what is it, 115 years or whatever it is now. There's been quite a few two brothers, but we're the only ones to have three brothers play for Australia, which includes you, of course, and Fokker. So I reckon that's pretty cool. Kev, I did get a bit concerned with the, first of all, the Trebojeviches, because there's three of them now too, so see how they go. We'll see how
and
the young fella
Mortimers
goes.
were a great rugby league family too, aren't they? You know?
Yeah, but didn't get the three though, Kev. We got them.
Yeah, we got the three. And the Thornettes, there was the Thornettes, but that was two.
Yeah, and the other one who made me nervous was the Kafusis, because Antonio did, and Felice did, because I used to talk to Felice, because I knew there was one more. I said, tell me he's a bit of a dud, Felice. They said they can't be taking our record.
Nah, great times. Right, we're going to move on to your rep career now, Stevie. Jeez, what's your memories of watching Origin first? Like, obviously, what's your first memories of, well, you're there for game one.
Game one, yeah.
You told us about that, and, you know, because of your lack of ability as a younger player, I went to Suncorp, or Lang Park it was then, wanting to play State of Origin. You left there thinking, oh, I could come back and be a fan here one day, did you?
Yeah, I might sell some chips or some burgers or something.
And you went back to dominate, mate. So your first Origin, right? Kerrod got the jump on you, didn't he, in the Origin Stakes?
Kerrod played, he had a few games for the Broncos at the start of, well, he was a hooker, not a few games, 89, wasn't it? Yeah. So, excuse me. And he played really well, and he got in there for 89 series for Queensland, and he was one of their best players too. He had a cracker of a series, so he was kind of established, and he was younger than me, so it wasn't looking too good for Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie.
Anyway,
you've always been a late developer though, like
I wasn't that worried. It's not like it was burning me on the way through. And then that was 89, and then 90. I think he played the first game all. Anyway, one of the games he did.
He got suspended for Graham. Had an indiscretion with Graham Wynn.
Or he hurt his ankle, so he missed two games. So I played one game in 90 when he was injured, or Graham Wynn. I can't remember which one it was.
I think it was Graham, yeah.
Yeah.
The big fella.
One, yeah, when he got suspended.
Well, they're both big, but yeah.
Bit of thuggery from him. So I played one game. I come in, I only did steady. I dropped the ball once or twice. I did a couple of good things I remember. What I remember most out the game is watching all that time, and it looked like it would be my one and only game for Queensland, because Kerrod had played so well, was Wally hadn't missed a game in 10 years, and he didn't play the game.
That was the only game he didn't play.
Tore his hamstring.
You wouldn't read about it.
No, but we still won it. Hague's come in, which I knew Hague's. You know,
right, so you still won the game. Yeah.
No, but we lost. No, but I still wasn't much. Fatty was captain. Enjoyed, it was a big thrill to play with Fatty.
No King in your Origin debut. No King. Well, you're fortunate. The King.
We still battled 8-0. I think we lost, so we were in it, but we just had a bit of trouble scoring.
Yeah. I think was Beatso the coach that year. Was it Graham? Which year did Graham?
Arthur was coach.
Arthur was coach then. He would have been a big fan of yours, surely.
Yeah, it was a big thrill. Oh, it was just a big thrill to meet Arthur Beatson and play in his team.
Yeah, how good.
100%.
Right, and what about? So then you made your that was 1990. You lost the series 2-1. Kerrod came back in for games 2 and 3. Right. Game 1, you lost 8-0. Yeah, you're right. Must have been a tough. What are your memories of game 1? I suppose you just explained it there, like.
Yeah.
No King.
Just battling away.
Just battling.
We were battling away, yeah. But you're still in it, so obviously it's not a big thing.
No. Right, so 91.
Yeah, I got a second chance because I didn't think...
that might have been the year that Kerrod got suspended.
Suspended for Graham Wynn. I think it was ankle the first year.
Yeah.
So he missed the first game. A little bit more comfortable the second time in because you're not as quite as nervous. And we won. And the first game we won the game, and I had a better game that time. I had a good game, so I ended up playing the rest of the series that year, and we ended up winning that series, which was even better.
Yeah, so you retained your position, and then of course, then comes your debut for Australia, was it? At the end of that was
during that year.
Yeah,
it must have been. We played against the Kiwis. It was in Melbourne, I remember.
Yep.
And we lost, I remember.
I was down there for that. I was on the bench for that game.
Yeah, we lost, remember? We shouldn't have lost. We did do. Because we just... and it was disappointing because we lost our first game. I got the players' player,
Yeah.
so that made me feel.
That was Olympic Park.
Yeah, and then they made a few changes and we got them games 2 and game 3, so we won the series.
Yeah, righto. So
And
good.
then Queensland, it was a good year, 91 actually, apart from we lost the grand final because Queensland in those days used to have a captain's trophy, they called it. And as the name suggests, whoever was the Queensland captain picks who he thought was the player of the series. And because it was Wally's last series, and he picked me, so
Yeah, right.
that's my proudest Origin award, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Wally picked it, you know.
Yeah, well, that was his last series too.
It was
wasn't
too, yeah. So for pretty, I got
Geez, you're a bit rough with Wally. So your first game, he's not there, and then your next series you play, he retires at the end of it.
Yeah, I got to play one with him, so yeah.
Yeah.
You know, any kid growing up in the 80s and watching, he was the man, wasn't he? So
Yeah, tell us
and obviously
about.
with Mal and them there too.
Yeah, tell us about sitting around the Queensland. You hear the stories all the time, and of us sitting around and seeing these players. You know, you're a bit lucky with Mal because you played club footy with him.
Yeah, that's.
But Wally was the
Oh,
captain and the captain for Australia as well, wasn't he?
yeah. I just didn't say too much then. You know what it's like when you first come into a team.
Yeah.
You just want to come and do your stuff and not let anyone down. You
Yeah.
know, and not look like a goose, I suppose. You know, that's the main thing. So I certainly wasn't too lippy or anything. I wasn't. We would never want to come in there and be talking up too much at first. You might have, as you down the track a bit, you know, you settle in a little bit, but you've got to kind of
Yeah.
get your stripes a bit first. I just remember it was very intimidating and, you know, Bobby Linder and Mal and all them fellas who you'd watched, you know.
Yeah.
Just great.
Great times, mate. Righto. What was it like playing against, not so much, I mean, playing against me, we sort of never crossed paths too much. First one, Kerrod. What was it like playing against Kerrod?
It's awkward when you're both hookers because someone's going to miss out all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I always felt it worked out okay because it would have been worse if it was all one way. You
Yeah.
know? He got to play his games for Queensland and Australia and won his grand finals at the Broncos.
Yep.
And I got my chance similar. So that made me feel a bit better about it. It was definitely awkward because, you know, no one, especially when he's not a knob or anything and he's a good fella, as you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, because someone misses out. One of us, Kerrod might have been able to be on the bench, but I certainly wouldn't have been much good to him as a utility, you know.
No, well, Kerrod would say he's a utility, but
Yeah.
guess what, Kerrod, you're not.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
think
you're
so.
a hooker.
That's what I meant. So someone's in and someone's out, aren't they? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, certainly.
And I was glad that it wasn't all one person in and one person out all the time.
And what about playing against Alfie? Was that tricky? You played against him a lot for the
Yeah,
race.
he was. He's funny. He used to annoy me. Obviously,
He used
on
to
the
call
other
you
side.
Dumbo, didn't he, with your
Dumbo
ears?
all the time, and he'd come in and try to get ready to play the Origins, and I'm already nervous, and I'd try not to sit near him and put my bag somewhere else, and then he'd get his bag and come over and sit next to me. And then just because I said, go away, just leave me alone.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to
he'd just
prepare.
look at-
He's
he'd look
just
at me
annoying
going,
people.
how you feeling, Dumbo? And then before we go out in the field, he'd be shaking me by the jumper, you know.
Yeah.
You ready to go, Dumbo? Just trying to amuse himself. I realised later, because he was nervous, but that's how he relaxed his nerves.
Yeah, he used to get rid of his nerves.
Taking it out on me, annoying me. Sit to me bag 3 times one game. I
Yeah.
go over here, because you didn't have a locker then.
No,
you
it's
just put your
sit
bag
wherever, yeah.
So I got in that corner. If I see him over there, I sat over here.
Yeah.
Then he got his stuff and chipped it over.
Good old Alfie, we love him. All right, you get to play for Australia on that New Zealand tour? Yep.
Yeah.
93.
93.
Yeah,
sorry,
91 you go to PNG with the Australian side, and you get injured and they fly Kerrod over. That's right.
Yeah, didn't get to play. I went up there, which was a real experience in itself, as you remember. Yeah.
What happened up there? How'd you get
I
injured?
hurt my knee in the grand final.
Right.
And I just didn't. It hadn't. They were hoping that it would come good, but it didn't come good, basically.
Yeah, right.
And might have been after I seen how hard them feels and that were up there. Nah, I wanted to.
It's an
was keen to
experience
play.
up there, isn't it?
Yeah, so glad I got to go because
Yeah.
it is a different experience. How much and how passionate they are, the PNG people with their footy. And then we had the 92. You skipped 92 when the 3 of us went on the World Cup tour.
I
mate.
did, of course. Let's have to get on to
That was
my...
a big highlight, yeah, because we went from there and we had a series against Great Britain in 92 at home.
Yep.
Which was a good
That
series.
was the Ashes.
Yeah, in over in Australia, which
Yeah.
was a good series for us again.
Yeah.
Although we lost.
Lost in Melbourne. Remember?
Same thing, wasn't it?
It was very slippery, remember?
Oh, he's saying
Poor old Peter Jackson was the 5'8", and he kept slipping over.
And then
So he got hooked at half time,
He did.
didn't he?
he got off at half time, poor old Jacko, and put ET to fullback, I think, and he said, "Get your steel studs on."
Yeah.
And you had to remember he was wearing high cutters,
Yeah.
Rod Wish hats.
Oh, it was bad. It was
He looked ordinary in Pearl Jacko. I remember coming off at full time in Pearl Jacko had a
sitting in
pile
the
of
corner. He had a pile of 4X cans around
beside him. Yeah.
How'd you end up? Did you win? No, we didn't.
Well, we come back and won the games 2 and 3 against
Yeah,
everyone in
definitely.
the
So
series.
game 2 must have been in Sydney. Game 3, I reckon, was up here. Or anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Brisbane.
Yeah. So 92, and then the World Cup.
The end of it,
The end of the year.
Well, the three of us, that's the first.
Yeah.
We all went to go then, me and you and Fokker. So, and that was a great game for us because we was at Wembley, first time at Wembley in a big crowd, and we were losing. And then the interchange, Kev Walters come off the bench and threw his outball to his mate Pearl, got us out of the shit, and we got a win. And
gee, that was a tough game. I watched it from the sideline for most of it, and got on late.
But couldn't quite get there, could we?
No.
Till we got that try, and it was really we come up with the win, the World Cup final. I got the man of the match thing again too, so it was a good memory for us.
Did you? What's your that's the game. What about Wembley, the stadium itself? What is it? Was it?
Oh, it's just hard to describe, isn't it? It's different playing over in England. I love playing over there. It's different to Australia. Just the atmosphere and a bit of the tradition, how they go about things. Like even when you're getting dressed and you're walking out, you all walk out together and they all sing
Side by side, yeah.
hope and glory, Even that, I was thinking this is a bit weird,
Yeah.
Walking out beside your opposition and all them pommies. They had a pretty good team in those years.
Very good side, yeah. You and Barry McDermott had a bit of a crack. Was that 90? That was 94, wasn't it?
It wasn't much, I just jumped in and got out of the road. Yeah, I'm not messing with him. But
no, we're skipping there. We're staying on 92, so the World Cup, that was a great win by Australia, certainly. And you got the man of the match, of course.
It was a great...
Do you remember what they used to give? What was it, a medal or something? Or?
No, it was a medallion thing with a cup thing on there. I've got it at home.
You still got it at home, have you?
Yeah.
Good on
it
you.
was pretty cool.
You'd have a pretty good trophy cabinet at home, I reckon, like with all the stuff
There's
you
a couple
won.
more than I got.
Best
the
and
first 10
fairest
years.
to Swifts under 14s and 15s. Oh no, that was me. Sorry, that was me.
No, I got 14 most improved.
Most improved. Righto, that's that World Cup, and you got the man of the match. So great work, Stevie. 94 Origin. You're back in it again, aren't you?
Yeah, well, we lost. The Blues were running hot then. There was a cup. We were right in it most of the games, but we couldn't. They won the series those couple of years.
You missed the game in Melbourne, didn't you?
Yeah, I missed the game in Melbourne. Played the
14-0
first
we
game
lost.
and hurt my knee. We won the first game. That's the famous
16-12. That's the miracle.
Yeah, when you guys, Cornies, I'd hurt my knee by then and missed game 2 and then come back game 3.
Now we're going to put some vision on Darcy. You'll overload it. When Corny scored, remember you on the sideline?
I was just watching.
Oh, you were so excited. We all were.
Yeah.
I remember you jumping up because I don't know what. How come you weren't on the field? What?
I hurt my knee.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why you weren't on there because hookers never used to get replaced. There was just once you're off, you're off in those days.
Yeah. I didn't have a good game that. I was steady at best, but I was just so pleased that we won the game still. Yeah.
Yeah, righto. And then New South Wales won games 2 and 3 to win the series. What about you and Benny Elias? What's the go? Your mates or what? I love Benny. I think he's a great fella. But let's go back to your playing days. You're pretty fierce rivals, weren't you? Like the two of you.
Yeah, it didn't get on too good there. People always ask me about Benny Elias. I didn't have a problem with him. He's just a grubby little wog. There's no issue there.
I love that story you tell.
Tell
us the story about Channel 9 when they rang you.
There was the footy show it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, he rings up and he said they were doing this little skit. I don't know if anyone saw it, where he said all the Queenslanders hate Benny, so we're going to get him to bungee jump off the Story Bridge. And he said, we know you two don't get on that well. He said, we want you to be part of the skit. He said, will you come along and push him, we'll give you a bit of money. and I said, no worries, mate. If you don't put a rope on him, I'll do it for nothing for you. But all jokes aside, he was a really good player.
He was competitive, wasn't he? He was a good player.
And a terrific player,
Yeah. And you never toured together, was it? So
no, actually, maybe Laurie and Ricky used to say, you guys would get on all right on the tour or something. But he was there in '90 with Kerrod, and in '94 was myself and Jimmy Sedaris.
Yeah. So Benny missed out in 1990. No, he was there in 1990. Yeah, like
not
you say.
94.
No.
I don't know whether he was injured or they didn't pick him. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, we love Benny. And I used to love the rivalry between you two, particularly around Origin. You know.
Yeah, he had
That
some
used to fire everyone
great
up.
Origin games too.
Yeah. He's a good player. We know that.
Mm.
What about the '94 Kangaroo Tour? Then you really sort of dominated that, didn't you? With your
That was probably my best. It was the end of a good year, 94.
well, obviously you won the Raiders.
We won the grand final, apart from the Origin when we lost 2-1. But it was we'd lost the first game on the tour, which puts you under the pump again.
Yeah.
The one from Wembley.
I remember meeting Joey Mangles in '94 in the stadium at Wembley. That was my contribution to Australia on that day. But yeah, it was disappointing, that first loss. And straight away,
I remember Clyde getting knocked out bad that game. So
Yeah.
enough, that's the main thing. And it didn't look that bad in the field, but he was out and he was cooked,
Yeah.
the poor bugger.
it was obviously every Australian team's good, but that was a really big, sort of strong, powerful team, wasn't it?
They were big, mate, yeah.
You know, but the English were so good again, weren't they? You know,
Yeah, they were. They would, if they look back now, I reckon they would have been thinking, well, that was our chance to get them, because they really had a lot of really elite level players then, you know, and Wigan in particular. Had about 6 or
Ellery
8 of them.
Henley was
They
at
were-
his
oh,
best.
yeah.
Martin Afire, you know,
All those fellas were at the peak
Sean
of their
Edwards,
games. Yeah.
Andy Gregory. I think he might have been still playing then or thereabouts.
He
So
was before, but the others, they were going good. But luckily we got the second game, and then the decider at Ellen Road would probably be my favourite from a personal point of view, because we won the series and I had a good game and got the.
You got the man of the match again.
So,
Jeez,
yeah.
how many man of the matches did you get that year in the big games? You got that one at home still?
Yeah, I think so. It would be there somewhere. Yeah.
Holy smoking, Stevie! How good? Did you score? So of all your grand finals, which is you got a favourite, or were they all equal?
Oh, you know what it's like with that. I think I contributed more during the 1994 season to us making the grand final. Not so much in the grand final itself,
Yeah.
but in '89 it was such a thrill, because it was the first time we'd won anything. It was the first time the grand final had gone out of Sydney. I mean, the Broncos a couple of years later, we were the first team to win out of Sydney.
Yeah, and from fifth too, wasn't it?
Yeah, we come from fifth, and we won the last 9 games to win the grand final. So,
Yeah, that's a good run, isn't it?
well, you remember when we were over in Perth?
Yeah, I didn't go to Perth.
Did you come? Well, we were over in Perth, and we had to beat the Bulldogs, and we were looking like losing 4 or 5 games. Would have been all over.
Right.
We didn't even make the semis.
Now I've got to get something confirmed here. There's a great story. Like Timmy Sheen took us over to Perth for that game, right? And he was the coach, and he didn't want you going out on having a few beers and late at night. So he set a trap for you fellas, didn't he? Do you remember the trap?
No, I can't remember now.
Yes,
No.
you do.
Well, there's no HIA in those days. They just let me out there.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
What was the trap? Tell me the trap.
Well,
Maybe
the trap was he left.
I got caught in a lot of traps. I can't remember specific ones.
He left a Raiders jersey at reception with the receptionist, right? And said to the lady, "Listen, would you mind? I've got this is getting when the players come back in from where they've been out. Would you mind?
I got decided. So, told you he was an innovator.
Would you mind getting them to sign this jersey for me? You know, I've got to send it back to Canberra." And so Tim wakes up the next morning. You know, so he dropped the jersey down at midnight. You know, to the reception and said, "Oh, would you mind?" You know, so there's about 4 or 5 names on there. SG Walters is one of them.
No one's got a perfect record, Kev.
No. Oh, I love that story. Timmy, there's the innovator, mate. That's him.
Yeah. Well, we were. Yeah, that's him.
Hey?
No, it was
Pretty cool.
It was a great run for that year, and things went our way.
Righto. We mentioned the 3 brothers playing for Australia. Now your international rugby league and club rugby league career finished, but then you got into team management, didn't you? So you were you became the Queensland team manager. Was Mal your first year, or were you in there before Mal got in?
No, Wayne.
Wayne Bennett hired you, yeah.
Yeah. It was, what happened was, if you remember, Queensland, I think they lost 56-16 in 2000. That's when they were doing
the
grenades and the
Fletch through the grenade and
hit the fan, must getting flogged like that.
Yeah.
And old Muppet Murray, I think, was the coach. He got sacked.
Yep.
And Wayne come in, and part of Wayne's thing, he said, "Well, I'll coach him, but I'll do it my way with the staff." And he wanted to make a few changes.
So he brought you in?
Well, he rang me up. I just retired then, and he said, "Steve," he said, would you be interested in doing some work with the State of Origin team?" I said, "Of course, I'd love to." And I said, "What will I do?" And he said, "I'm not sure yet. you're a good bloke, I want you involved, I'll ring you in 2 days. And he rang me back 2 days later, he said, you're going to be assistant manager with Choppy.
Yeah.
I said, okay. Now, actually, I'll tell you a story of that. I said, okay, great, I'll be like Choppy's deputy. And I said, what do I do? He said, just go and get yourself a briefcase, mate. First job. And I said, okay. And I said, what do I put in it? He goes, doesn't matter if it's a Phantom, comic and a banana. He said, just carry your briefcase around. And that's how it sort of started from
so
there.
you were the manager for how long? Almost
I was
20
assistant, 19 seasons. So I was assistant for the first 5, I think. Choppy was there, and Choppy, his work got a bit busier then, so he had to stop.
Yep.
And we'd lost 3 in a row too, in 3, 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And
So
Mal came in to coach, and I thought, they might want to change the staff, because I'd been there 5 years.
yeah.
And he came in, Mal got coach of Queensland, and I was talking to him about it. I said, listen, if you want us, if you want me to move on, there's no drama. So you put in who you want. So you're not leaving now. I'm coach. And I said, no, I don't want to leave. I'm just saying, I understand.
Yeah, right.
He said, no, you stop here with me. And then
Just got on the run. Wow.
Next thing, Johnny Thurston and Cameron Smith, and they're all in your team, and Lockie, and they win. We win the next 8.
Billy Slater.
Billy Slater, like all those fellas.
Greg Inglis.
Nate Miles.
80 miles.
I feel so lucky from a footy point of view, because I just loved the job, because I was never that keen on working on it full time, but it was a nice way to just keep involved with the game, and if you've got Smith and Thurston and Slater and Inglis, Miles, and you're pretty good chance of winning each year, Whenever you're doing it. Mal was
but
there.
still, hey, hats off to Mal and the job.
He did a great job.
And all the staff, not just Mal, but all the
You
staff.
look back now, it wasn't.
that.
Well, you were there
Yeah.
for a lot of that too. It was great to be involved, and Mal did a great job, and I feel so lucky, because I got to watch. They all come through our development squad at Queensland. All those,
the emerging origin camps.
all the future immortal. Bill and Johnny.
Oh, look,
and
we've got to share this story. You just keep triggering me things. How are we going for time? We're over already, but right. When you're in charge of the emerging origin camps, what about the time Wayne? So someone didn't didn't show up the next morning at training. Remember?
Oh, you were talking about Pearl Gags.
Yeah.
So, because Gags had just gone down to Newcastle. Wayne was coaching him.
And he picked him in the emerging origin camp, didn't he?
Because I said to Wayne, how's he going? He said, good, Steve. He said, I'm real happy with him.
He's a great kid.
He's on the way. He's on the go now. And I said, okay. And he used to like us to take us. We used to go down to the Storybridge Hotel,
Yeah.
have a couple of beers Saturday night, and had to train early Sunday morning.
It was a bit of a test, wasn't it, to see
Yeah,
about
he
their-
liked to see him getting out and having a beer with each other, but he wanted to see him up and train the next morning.
Yeah, that's what
too.
I mean, a test to
Yeah. Anyway, but occasionally we lost a few troops. It's become a bit of a thing after the years. I'd see Wayne the next morning and say, who'd we lose? Have we got all our men? And then one just go, I said, our man down. He said, who is it? And I said, Dane Cankai and poor old Gags.
Yeah.
And look at him, mate. He went on and played 30 Origin. Whatever.
He's still playing the big Gags.
Yeah.
So a great origin player, Gags.
I remember when Johnny was in there. He missed the bus home there too. It was funny when he was at the thing.
Yeah, the first year I came in, I was under enormous pressure. I had 6 of them go missing on me.
Yeah.
Couldn't find them the next day.
But he was home when we got home, JT, knocking on my door. Here I am, mate. It was good times, and you see them come through. You would never guess they were going to turn out like as good as what they were.
Yeah. So we worked it out as a family. You spent over a year, if you count your origins that you played, and then it's closer to 2 years in origin camp.
Yeah, how lucky is that, Kev, eh?
Nearly 2 years.
That's a lot of king prawns, isn't it, and food?
Oh, wow.
Well, it'd be,
And good times too, weren't losing
57,
years.
62, 72 camps, times that by 10, 720, so 2 years.
There you go, 2 years.
Yeah. I know,
Wow.
we feel really lucky, mate.
Is there anything in those 700, whatever it is, that's like, if you got a favourite origin moment for you
In the
personally?
staff?
From a playing thing first?
Playing thing be 91.
91.
As I was saying with Lotties last year.
And what about
91.
your staffing memories?
Staff's really hard, because I used to love it when the ones that weren't household names come in and had their day in the sun.
Yeah.
Like Dallas Johnson, he played a lot of games, so I really admired him playing. And then you had when Johnny Buttigieg come in the first year, I was there, and Johnny Doyle and all them fellas,
Yeah.
He was a good player too, Doyle, but he was injured, quite a bit.
So you would have had Alf in 2001 when Alf came back. You were in there then?
Yeah, because I come in.
Did you notice a difference in Alf when he came back?
He was more serious than normal.
Was he? So he wasn't moving with your bag and all that sort of stuff?
No.
He left you alone?
It was a big story at the time, I don't know if you remember, but just a lot of media involved. And I remember I went down to see him because that was my first year with the team, so I'm still finding my way a bit.
Oh, and he's come into camp.
He's come into camp.
Oh, Dumbo.
Game 3, and I went down to see him in his room to tell him what. I said, Alan, you need to be on the bus at 2 o'clock with your blokes, blah, 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 and this and that. Well, I can't swear in here. He just said, F off, Dumbo. I said, Alan, you need to be on the bus, blah, blah. He said, F off. He said, or I'll get you sacked. And I thought, I'll have to think about this a bit different. I went away for a while, and I come back and I said, Alan, the rest of the players are going to be on the bus with this and that, and they're going to do this. If you could do it, that'd be great. He said, I'll think about it.
Little bugger. That's what he's like, Alan.
But what fantastic, to see that game 3 there.
Yeah.
So you start getting to those memories. But game 1 was the last one at Suncorp.
Yep.
Queensland lost 56-10 the year before. We had 10 blokes making their debut.
Yeah.
Half of them were not household names.
Do you remember who the captain was that day?
Gordon Tallis.
Dickie Tallis.
And he led them like a champion too.
Yeah.
Lockie played great.
Carl Webb was in that side too, wasn't he?
Charlie Webb was in there, mate. There was a heap of them. I'm pretty sure Brad Myers, Johnny Buttigieg, Johnny Doyle.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Tatey was a year or two later. 10 debutants.
Yeah.
Last game at
pretty ballsy from Wayne, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, come back in. Yeah,
and that put Queensland sort of back in the Origin frame.
Got rolling again. Yeah.
Good stuff, Wayne Poo. Right, a couple of questions to finish. Your best player you've ever played with? You can name a couple if you like.
Yeah. Probably two. I mean, it's hard, but because I've been like you played with the real elite ones.
Yeah.
Wally with the Origin with Queensland and that, but Mal was, he's an immortal with Queensland, Australia.
Mal was so good for
a long period of time.
Yeah. Jeez, and he's an immortal
club,
now, obviously.
Yeah, and club and rep footy,
Yeah. Well, whenever you looked around and saw Mal, you thought, oh, happy days, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I was a bit different to you. I had to play against him a lot more than I played with him. So
yeah, better for me. I'd rather not be tackling
him.
So.
No.
And but a good fellow, always a good captain too. He's always good with me.
And you loved your rivalry with Benny. We've spoken about that already.
Yeah, enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just lucky. Got the other blokes. You got Ricky and you got Alf. I never like picking between those two.
Yeah.
And you got Clyde and Laurie and yourself and everyone.
Yeah. So many great players. We're very privileged, Box, to be. I mean, you made your own way and your own luck, you said, but you had a great career. What are you doing now with yourself? You got
Team Super.
Yeah.
So I work for we're the coal mine industry super fund.
Right.
So I quite enjoy the job. I get out a lot of the mining sites in particular, a little bit with the transport fellas now too. We've merged with TWU Super, so
right.
It's keeping us busy. Just working with employees and people.
So what do you go up and visit the mine sites, do you, and try and explain about the super and
how it works,
how
and
you
make
offer
sure people aren't missing out, and suggesting us as a default fund option. If anyone ever wants to contact us, send us a message to Team Super and I'll come and see you.
Right.
It's a good job, because I'm 60 myself this year, so you've always got your ear to the ground.
You're having a big party at the end of the year, aren't you?
Going down, down to Tweed for a couple of drinks, 6-0.
Unbelievable, eh? How time flies.
She is. It's hard. Where to go, Kev?
Yeah. Now, one last question. We're sponsored by Kratzmann Caravans, and they've been a great sponsor of the show, and they're always inquisitive about where players like to holiday. Have you got a special holiday place that you could tow the Kratzmann to and set up camp?
Well, I'll be looking to do that probably about 2 years when I'll be going more. But if I had a holiday place, a special one from a caravan, it'd probably send me to yourself. It would be Burham Heads from.
Oh, you're not going to drive past Noosa. Surely you go to Burham Heads.
No, too busy at Noosa.
I spoke about this the other week.
No, I don't like Noosa.
No, too busy?
It's nice. It's too busy, too hard to get a park. You can't park your car. Where am I going to put my van?
All right, so you're going to Burham.
You can't get a car down there.
Do you remember holidaying at Burham? How much fun was it?
Our family holiday. We went there every year for 4 or 5 years, and KG built the house, and it was just great memories there. So that'll be my first one, but I'm going to troops over to WA. I always want to go over there in a few years.
Oh, right.
In the van and that. So,
well, you know which van to take. Take the Kratzmann. They'll look after you.
Good quality Kratzmann. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, Stevie Walters, always a pleasure with you because I loved playing with you back in the Raiders days. We played for Queensland together and Australia, and you know what? You're one of my favourite brothers, I've got to say. Thanks for joining us, Stevie.
Good on you, Cap. And it's nice to sit down with the new Kangaroos coach too.
And it's nice to sit down with the top 100 players of all time. How good's that, Box?
Look at us go, eh?
There we go. Good on you, Stevie Walters. You're a champion.